Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's video. The purpose of which is, it's fairly simple. I would really love to introduce you to the concept, to the idea. I want to invite you to understand the way your life is right now, the way that you look, the way that you feel, the way that you behave, the way that you interact in this world is all down to something called perception. And when I say introduce you to this concept, if you've been following me for a while, you will have a good understanding that that is what my coaching business is built on. The way that I really, one, enjoy working with clients, and two, over the past 27 years have found that it is 100% impossible to elicit a long-term, sustainable, dramatic transformation of the outer world if you don't address your inner world. This is where perception comes into play. This is where understanding that the way that you act, the way that you present yourself in this world is all down to the way that you perceive not only the world around you, but you perceive yourself. Make no mistakes. Something that I want you to try and understand. Your life right now is a culmination, is a product of your past experiences and past influences. Generally, these influences and experiences, they come from our parents. They come from the older members of our family. I've spoke a couple of times. I wrote a post about this yesterday, talking about my own experience with unconscious conditioning. The way that my unconscious flow was conditioned when I was a child to believe that I would never amount to anything. I'll just very briefly go over it. When I was about 12, all I wanted to do was be a fighter pilot. I wanted to fly Tornadoes for the Royal Air Force. It was my world. You can probably blame Top Gun for it, but that's a completely different story. I was obsessed with aviation. All I wanted to do was fly fast jets. A 30-second conversation with the school caretaker when I was about 12 completely dashed that. Now, I didn't realize at the time, and I've only realized since doing the deep work on myself, since learning about human emotion and learning about the human unconscious, that one conversation where the caretaker said to me, "Lad, you will never be a fighter pilot. You are not good enough to be a fighter pilot. If you are at this school, you will amount to nothing." Completely throwaway comment. Back in the 80s, that's just how that's how we interacted with kids. There wasn't a big understanding when it comes to unconscious conditioning. Also, when I was a child, we were away on holiday at a holiday park down in Devon. I ordered a massive burger because I was a kid. And I wanted a big burger. And my dad, from that moment on, called me the Zepp, as in the Zeppelin, big bloated thing. Every time I ate, every time my relationship with food, everything that I thought of was food, I then believed that I overate. When I would go round to my grandparents' house, they'd be like, "Oh, here he is, let's get the big plates out." Ooh, harmless at the time. There was no malice. They was not trying to influence my behavior. It was just the way it was. There's also a couple of things that I probably don't really want to go into, but it's since reflecting on my own life, since being a part of hundreds of transformations all around the world, there's a few things that have come to light which have kind of linked the way that I've behaved in the past to certain people. But anyway, that's a completely different story. So hopefully you can see that your perception of the world is dictated by your past experiences, behaviors, and beliefs. Therefore, your perception will dictate the way that you behave. If your perception of yourself is someone who can't lose weight, you have come to this conclusion because you have tried multiple times, you've invested very small amounts of money in surface level solutions that haven't addressed the deeper issue. You now believe that you can't lose weight. You struggle to sleep at night. You've struggled for such a long time. Your perception of self, the way that you see yourself on this planet, is someone who is an insomniac. Therefore, your beliefs, your current beliefs around yourself are going to dictate the way that you behave. You will always behave in the way that you expect to behave, which is why the majority of people are saints during the week, but then lose their marbles of a weekend, because that's the way they expect to feel. I talk to guys, I talk to girls, I talk to people all over the world. I can't do this because of this, this, and this. I can't eat healthily. I can't go to the gym. I can't do this and I can't do that. All a perception, all a made up version of reality. And it's only when we accept that. Accepting perception is one of the coaching models that I use when I first start working with someone. But anyway, that's by the by. What I'd love you to understand is, and I'm sure this is more than likely going to resonate with yourself, it's pointless trying to change a behavior if you don't address what's driving the behavior. It's pointless you having another diet plan if you don't believe that you can lose weight. It's pointless you starting another training program if you don't believe that you in this world are a person who can be a lean, strong, athletic looking, toned individual. If we don't address the drivers, we can't really address the behaviors. We can address the behaviors, but nothing will change. Maybe you'll get results in the short term. Maybe when motivation is high because you've got a new diet plan, you've got a new training program, you're all excited. After a few days, your subconscious flow, your unconscious conditioning, your unconscious conditioning kicks in, and you will then revert to type. You will then behave how you expect yourself to behave. Notice that I've said that a few times. You will always behave the way you expect to behave. If you are trying to give up alcohol, if you have reflected on yourself and you know that whenever you drink, you are not the best version of yourself, because alcohol lowers your inhibitions, it ruins your sleep, it makes you eat more food, it makes you say things that you shouldn't fucking say. If you have identified this and you believe that alcohol should be gone from your life, yet you don't make a strong commitment to change, you will always fall off the wagon. If I'm in a bar with you and you don't want to drink, yet I offer you a drink and you say, I'm trying to be good, you are allowing yourself to fail. You are allowing yourself to give in to your past programming and your past behaviors. It's really deep stuff. It's really powerful stuff. It's what sets apart what I do as a coach to other coaches. It's also why to work with me, the investment is just that little bit higher, because we go so much deeper than here's your macros, here's your training program, now fuck off. Hopefully that makes sense. So take homes from today, something I want you to ruthlessly reflect on is I want you to understand that until you accept that your current situation is down to your perception, you will always spin your wheels. You will always keep losing and gaining the same 10 pounds. Until you accept that life is a perception, you cannot become aware of your perception. Until you are aware of your perception, there's absolutely no way that you can take ownership and get some accountability. The fourth A, you just noticed there that I've done 4 A's: acceptance, awareness, accountability. The fourth A is action. Should be ruthless action. But unless you accept life as a perception, until you become aware of your own particular perception, I can't eat healthily, I can't lose fat, I can't sleep, I can't stop drinking, I can't stop going on the sesh every weekend, I can't find a nice woman, I can't get into a good relationship, I keep getting fucked over. Until you accept that all of this, until you become aware of your perception, you cannot take ownership for it. because you will continue to deny it and you'll continue to validate your behavior by expecting the way that you think that you are going to behave. And it's only then can we start putting out a structured plan of action, which is going to take you from where you are now to where you want to be in the next 3 to 6 months. Hopefully this has helped. Hopefully it hasn't blown your head off. Hopefully it hasn't gone too deep. Hopefully you've listened to the words instead of shutting off, because this light is hot, because it challenges your current narrative. If you've got any questions, by the way, if you think Danny knows what he's talking about, Danny's the man that's going to help me progress, he's going to help me move the needle the most, shoot me a message and we'll have a conversation. There's nothing for sale. I just want to know if my own approach, my not unethical, what's the word I'm looking for? Put it in the comments below if you can think of the word I'm looking for. I can't think of it. If my approach is going to help you step out of your own way and pull your head out of your arse, shoot me a message. Have an absolutely beautiful day. Catch you soon.